I'm getting used to what to do to the recording. Right, well, there's people still coming on, but in respect to everyone that's here on time, I'm gonna proceed. We're about to enter. Hello, everybody, by the way. Has anyone not heard me speak before? No, you all know me, don't you? Yeah, we won't do any introductions, right? Okay, so we're about to enter, hopefully, what is known as the now 20k giveaway season. And we've got a few things booked, but is there anyone on here that's feeling incredibly frustrated that you just want to get going with business fast? Yeah, you want something really simple and easy to do.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I've been thinking about this, and it's something I have done in the past. I have had results, but it doesn't require any cost. Excellent. I suggest you don't purple yourselves up, and you don't need any equipment other than, I'd say, a couple of clipboards with a pile of, I keep wanting to call it winner mini forms. It's not, 20 giveaway applications. And I suggest that you go out in twos. And I was discussing this with Annette earlier on. The reason I suggest you go out in twos is I think all of us sometimes need a little bit of feeling of support and backup. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. And going out on your own can be a little bit daunting. So you might want to make a few notes, but this is what I've come up with. And it's totally legitimate, compliant. You don't need any special licenses. You haven't got to spend any money out. Isn't that good? And you haven't got to dress any differently to how you would normally. I suggest smart casual. And we all know what smart casual is, don't we?
Yeah.
So let's just have a reminder of what the forms are. Let's see if I can bring it into the share. Let's see if I'm any good at this. Bear with me while I'm playing around. Hang on. Oh no. Hang on. You know what? It's saying I can't do this. Hang on. Bear with me. Right, that's there. That's there now. I want to go to share. Yes, I've done it.
Well done.
Okay. Can we all see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops. Right, there we go. So they've changed it a little bit. Still name, address, best contact number. Most people will give their mobile. Email address and postcode. Now, normally, as anyone that knows me, I'm very much into engaging in conversation because I believe everything we do is about building rapport. But I'm out to make this simple and easy for anyone to do. And I have done it this way. And in fact, there was one particular occasion that Helen, Frank and I went out into the area of Westbourne and we trialed this. And we stood on street corners. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? But we had clipboards and we literally would ask people, would they like to enter a free draw? Now, in those days, it was to win a mini of 10 grand, but now it's that there's 20k to give away.
Yeah. And
someone's got to win. And you've got to put your best smile on. And I suggest that you just kind of like hold the clipboard out with it on there and say to them, would you like to enter the free draw? Someone's got to win. And it's this year. And let them fill it in by themselves. Oh my God, you wasn't expecting me to say that, were you? How easy is that? Now, the interesting thing is, I've been on stands, and certainly people like Kev Farwell and Jim and Annette know. And it's a really funny old thing, you know, when you give someone a form, don't ask me why, but most of them will fill it in and answer all the questions.
What's
Okay.
that? That's when you go. Oh, okay.
Could whoever's talking, could they mute themselves? Because you're coming over what I'm saying. Thank you. So what I'm going to suggest is that you hand them a clipboard with a pen. Now, I know that there's some of you on here that are going to say things like, oh, do we need to have sanitizer? And all this stuff. Now, look, can I tell you that I believe the more, and I'm going to use the word, barriers and restrictions you put in the way, the more the public perceives. As Kev knows, when we had a little in-between period last year, I did a cut the car boots, and I didn't wear any mask despite people being masks. I didn't wear a visor. I did have some hand sanitizer on the podium, but you know what? It didn't put people off. It honestly didn't. And I think the more barriers we put up, the more fearful they become. If you want to be respectful, and I'm going to suggest that you wear a visor, one of these nice little clear ones, you know, that are like a pair of glasses. Because what you need to do is people have got to see our faces. It's so fundamental. If they can't see you smiling away, there's something really, really bad. You're never going to engage. This is about engaging rapport. So I'm going to suggest that. But I do feel that by handing them a clipboard with the application, you're giving them that feeling that they can stand back a bit further if they wish to. Now, as soon as they're getting near the end, you do ask them, would they answer the 3 questions? And there's only 3. I want you to note there's a very strange first question. Are you open to hearing how you can save on your essential home services? God knows who came up with that one. It certainly wasn't anyone in the network. It's just not something I'd ever say to anyone. But anyway, it's there. They're going to read it and let them answer it. Really important. Okay, now when they give it back to you, you look at them and you say, oh, fantastic, great. So you've circled that you're interested in knowing about home services. And say, great, well, look, at some point, we'll give you a call. When would you say was the best time to contact you that you're in? Now, the reason I suggest you do this on that moment is because you want to almost pre-book this. So it's not an unusual call out of the blue. I think you'll have a better chance. Yeah, because you'll get a feel whether or not someone would be willing to speak to you. But the more you have a chat with them and don't just let them hand it in and let them walk off fast, the more chance you've got of actually making an appointment. So what would you need on you? Well, guys, you need your diary, or if you're using your calendar diary system on your phone, because if you get chatting to them and they're genuinely interested, and then I suggest you have one of the little presenter, you know, that John Zink was doing on the doors, you know, the little presenter that shows about the services. This is different. This is different. You are engaging conversation and they may want to know things. That would be a fabulous time to actually show them that presenter. And it actually is step by step going through it. Is anyone here? Let me just stop the share. Does anyone here not know what I mean by the presenter? Okay, Rose, do you want to unmute? Right, Rose, we've got some presenter sheets. I will send you one, all right, that you can have. They're sort of laminated card.
Okay.
It will help you because all you do is literally read through it. Okay, you literally, somebody's holding one up. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Lovely.
Okay, yeah. Lovely, there you are. Someone's help. There we go. All right. They're available, are they not, on the partner portal? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think those are a little bit more up to date now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're £5 for £1.
£5 for £1. There you go. What I might get someone to do, because I must admit I haven't got any, because I kind of know it in my head off by heart. And I was just going to adapt one of the old ones. But if someone will be kind enough to scan it and send it to me, I'll send it to everybody on here. All right. Then they can print it off if they want to. And all you've got to do is laminate it. Okay. So
you can download it on the partner portal.
you can just download it. There you go. Thank you very much,
Thank
Ross.
you.
You can download it. Now, the reason I'm suggesting that when you're out and about, you could do this is the more that you can chat with them, you're engaging rapport. And you've got a jolly good chance then, let me bring it back into the share, of then turning your little form over. You've got lots of their details already, but you can make an appointment and you can write it all down. Now, I want you to notice something on the back. There's some previous prize draw winners. So there's a good little thing to show folk if they ask if it's real, because a lot of people do ask if it's real. Okay. What's the main thing I'm going to ask somebody that you think, I've chatted away because I'm telling you about this. But what do you think the main thing is to do in a situation like this? Anyone got any ideas?
Smile and be friendly.
Smile, be friendly, yes. What else?
What will they do with the money?
Ah, excellent. What would you do with 20k? Ask them. Because it's actually quite a lot of money, 20,000. There's quite a lot you could do with that. Yeah. Why would you want to ask that question?
Their hot button.
What was that, Alan?
Find their hot button.
Excellent. Find their hot button. What else? What's the other main reason that you would ask?
Is it to find out if they've got any more family or friends or relatives?
We're getting close. We're asking questions to engage. Questions are the answers. The more you ask open questions, the more they'll stay with you and engage with you. If you just, and we're all guilty of this, all you're doing is selling to them. And nobody likes being sold to. But if you start having a genuine conversation and ask questions and like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, have you been shopping? How are you finding it all at the moment? What a great question. How are you finding it all? Do you know what? Have some real questions and I promise you, you'll get feedback. And the longer that they're with you, there is more likelihood they'll make a good consolidated appointment. That is a fact. All right. Whereas if you're keeping it short and sweet and you're just getting forms, this is not a form filling exercise. Okay. If you just get a pile of forms, you have not achieved what it's about. It's all about engaging. Now, the other thing too, some might say, do you need a license? No. When you're doing a survey, which this is little questions, you're allowed to do that with no license from the council. And you can virtually do it anywhere. Now, I suggest not on private land. I did hear of somebody that lurked around some years ago in car parks. I find that a little bit kind of, I don't know. It's not what I do. I would say be in the middle of a nice high street. How about one of the best places is probably near where there's some coffee shops, because people linger longer, don't they, in places like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you are around and they're sat outside, some of them are going to hear you and they might even decide to come over. Oh, well, I'll give that a go. Now, here's a little something I'm going to share. And it's a fact. And anyone that's ever done in the past Winner Minis will tell you this. I've got to be careful how I put this. The British public are very much like sheep. They tend to follow each other. It's a fact. If you are stood there for ages and nobody comes over, they don't come over. But if you have someone and they're doing, and if you add another board and someone's doing, don't ask me how this works. Oh, what am I missing out on? And you can get a queue. I promise you. And I'll tell you why, because I've done something very, very similar at a car boot years ago. Now, I'm not into car boots because everybody's after something for absolutely nothing. And that's their whole sort of ethos. But if you're going there purely to do something like this, it's, I don't know. I'm going to give you some ideas, because I did this at the car boot and it worked. I've got 2 big foam boards and it says guess and win. Okay. Now my Mini has got a rather nice registration plate, and it was the easiest thing I could come up with in 5 minutes. My registration plate is my website. Yes, save. And listen, people have done things like filling up their cars with loads of balloons, and you had to guess how many balloons were in the car. To me, that's too much like hard work. Okay, so I've got these 2 boards wedged under the wheel arches of the front of the car, and it says guess and win. And then I've got clipboards with Winner Mini phones. People came over and said, what have you got to guess? I said, you've got to guess how much I paid for my registration plate. Now, this was an interesting thing, because bit by bit, more people came over, and all of a sudden I had a crowd, and it drew more people, and people were wanting to hurry up and grab a clipboard to enter in the draw. To then it was win a Mini or 10K, but also to put their amount of money that they thought my plate was. Now, I'm going to say to you, if you can get a crowd, I tell you what, you'll be busy the whole time you're there. But you've got to remember that you want to engage with people. So maybe take 2, 3 clipboards, have plenty of forms, have your diary on you. So you might need to have a bag, so you've got, you know, over your shoulder, you're putting things in. Because if you're just stood outside, do you know what? It's quite difficult. You don't want to be restricted by having to put things on the ground and stuff like that. You want to be flexible. But would you not say that that's rather a great idea, to just get out with somebody else together and do that? Do you not think that you could hand a clipboard to someone, let them fill it in, and then ask some suitable questions? It costs absolutely nothing. You haven't got to book a venue. You haven't got all the paraphernalia of loads of stuff. Now, I'm willing to go out and do it with anyone that wants to. So in the chat, if you want to have a go at this, put that you're interested, and let's see if we can marry people up that are near each other to go out and do it. Now, I live in near Blandford, so I'm a little way out, but Annette's Weymouth, and I know Annette, she wouldn't give a tinker's cuss about driving a bit. We could even do a halfway, Annette, if you wanted, in Dorchester, couldn't we? Oh, she's on mute. Yes, thumb up. So Do you think, folks, that that's something you could try? Would it be a good way of engaging and getting prospects?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I'm saying this. Take a look at the form. What do you think the most important question on that form is to me? Would you be interested in
The
an
name?
extra income? If I
Extra
get a
income.
yes to that, that's a possible partner. And I would, if they put a yes to that, I would be asking them questions like, what do you do now? How long have you done it? Oh God, I bet you really enjoy that, don't you? You'd be surprised how many people go, no, I don't. It's really unsteady. I've been furloughed. I don't know if I'm going to lose my job. Oh my God, what a great question on that form. Now, this is the important thing. When you ask questions, guys, on the back of the form, they very kindly listen to us, and there's a section for notes. I want you to take this on board. Do not go on to the next person until you've written some notes. And I'll tell you what I suggest you do, because you can't take photographs of people. Make a note. Woman with glasses. Had silly earrings, whatever it may be, something to help you remember that person. If they tell you that they've just been away for the weekend and they stayed in wherever, write that down, because that will be the thing that will help you remember that person, because you are going to talk to possibly a lot of people in a couple of hours. These are things that help you remember what's going on. And if they do tell you something about that they've got a holiday coming up, that's terribly important to write down so that you can do timing right for phoning and speaking to them. So there's quite a lot. It all sounds very quick and easy, but there's actually quite a lot of psychology behind something like this. And I'll tell you why I think it's great. I've always seen this as a coaching ground of being with newer people for them to learn, to build up. The biggest thing we do is we build up a repertoire of people and their characters. Now we talk about reds, greens, yellows. And one of the things that I do is I'm very quickly ascertaining what type of person is in front of me so that I build rapport and not confrontation. Because the more you can build rapport, the longer they'll stay, the better chances you are of having somebody that's interested in either making or saving money. So there's actually quite a lot goes on. The other thing too is the reason I've suggested this is I think some people feel a little bit uncomfortable knocking on people's doors. Put your hands up if you feel a bit uncomfortable knocking on someone's front door. Yeah, we're all a bit like that, okay? Because as I've always said, your home is your castle, isn't it? And I've got to admit, I wouldn't particularly want someone knocking on my door. I must admit, though, if somebody knocked on my door now, I always try and engage in conversation because I want to turn it round for my advantage. I had a delivery for this pizza night, this 80-day thing. My stuff arrived and it was a DPD driver. And we had quite a nice little chat. I've got his name and number now, not because I'm going to date him, but because he's a prospect. Anyway, he's young enough to be my son. But I'm always out to get their names and numbers. And I'm gonna just say to you, you know, one of the things I constantly do is I ask people, I say, like this chap, I said to him, oh, I said, you're nice and early. I'm so pleased because I want to go out on my morning walk. And he said, oh, do you go out every day? I said, I try to. And I said, I use it not just for my exercise, but I said, I use it for personal development for my business. And he said, oh, what's your business? I said, oh, I show people how to get to financial stability. And he said, do you? I said, I bet you love your job, don't you? He said, not really. He said, I'm just doing this because it's filling time in until I find what I'm after. I said, what are you after? And he said, I'm looking for something that is really, really going to engage the skills that I've spent years learning. I said, oh, what's that? He said, well, I've got a degree in psychology. And he started telling me stuff. And I said, am I holding you up? He said, no, it's okay. Which I thought was quite unusual for a delivery driver. But anyway, before long, he said, I've delivered a few of these parcels. I said, oh, we get all kinds of rewards. I said, this is a lovely little reward. And I said, but mostly, I said, having the ability to work when you want to work, be free, and to be able to fulfill your passion, whatever that is. I said, it's your psychology. I said, wouldn't you like a vehicle of money coming in that could enable you to do that? And he went, yeah, I would. I said, I tell you what, I haven't got any cards on me at the moment. I always say that. So I took his name and his number, and he's already had a UW Stories. What do you think I sent him? Drivers. There you go. So what I'm doing is trying to show you a means of just getting in front of people. And this is a free, easy, do it anytime, any place, anywhere. We'll call it the Martini 20K giveaway. How about that? Do you think that that's possible? You could do it. Yeah. Okay, well, anyone got any questions? You can unmute and ask me, because I just thought this might be something to get people into action fast.
Oh,
Who's got some
Lisa,
questions?
did you say you were going to get a bunch of giveaway forms, a job lot, so we could buy them off you?
Who's saying this? Sorry. Right. Hello, Mel. Sorry. Right. What, the presentation form?
No, the giveaway forms.
I've got some. If you want to buy some off me, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
They're pennies. I bought a load because I thought we need to get some. Kev's already bought some off me. Okay. All right. So I've got some here in my team. Any other questions?
Lisa,
Oh, go on.
Yeah. Who's first?
I don't mind. It's just a quickie. I've put the presenter down, put the presenter in the chat for you to download and print off.
Fantastic. I will make sure that everybody sees that. Okay, everybody in the chat, take it, copy it before I end this Zoom call, because it's there. Thank you, Jen. That's nice. Lorraine, you had your hand up.
When they filled the form out, do you keep the whole thing, or do you tear the bottom bit off and give it to them as kind of a receipt?
No. You keep the whole thing, because you're going to tear that bottom bit off. And I'm a bit old-fashioned, Lorraine. Some people do it online. I don't. I fill them in. I put them in an envelope, collect them through the air, then I post them off.
Oh, okay.
Do you give them a copy of the appointment? If you've made an appointment, do you give them, tear off the bit with the appointment on it and give it to them?
Good question, Ros. Right. There is, let's go back to it. Let's show you. There is this bit here that you could give them. You could tear that off, yes? And if you see that on the other side, they've actually got that. So that can be their appointment and everything. Now, can I just quickly, is it all right? Because I know it's 5 o'clock, but can I just go through the most important part here? Let's say you get someone interested, and this is the bit that everybody doesn't do well. And it's about consolidating an appointment. So somebody's interested. You know, don't you, that you want to be able to, I mean, listen, guys, I'm old-fashioned. I've got a diary, okay? I don't let them see the pages and what's going on, because you want to be able to say, I'm busy. There's nothing worse than having a blank diary, I promise you. All right, that will not profit you well. So I would say, let's say, Ros, you're interested, Ros, and I'll say, okay then. So you quite fancy an apples for apples comparison on your services, do you? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, well, Ros, look, we need to get together, don't we?
We do. Thank you. I'd like that.
Right. Did I ask an appointment? No. I copied
No.
it straight out of the mouth years ago of Mr. Barras. We need to get together. There's your line.
Yeah.
So, Ros, do you work during the day?
Some days, so I'm not available on a Thursday or a Monday, but I could do some afternoons.
Okay, well, look, let's have a look what's going on here. I'm available Friday, okay, which is coming up. I'm
Yeah.
also available the following Monday.
Friday would be great.
Is that
Could you
morning
do
or
the morning?
afternoon? The morning,
Yeah.
yeah. Sort of like decent hour time, 9:30ish.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah. Now look, I see that you're not from round here, because as you've said to me, you've come to visit your daughter, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, Ros, let's would you like to do this kind of over the phone, or would you like an in-person appointment? Because I don't mind coming your way. Sorry.
I don't want to drag you too far. I'm quite happy to do it over the phone, but it'd be nice to see you, Lisa. And
Well, look, can I ask you then, Ros? Do
Yeah.
you know what Zoom is?
Yes.
Well, we could
I've
meet on
heard of
Zoom.
it.
We could meet on Zoom. Would that be any good to you?
Yeah, I'd like that. That's nice. Then
All
we
right,
can
well,
see
look.
each other, can't we?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do on this little form. I'm going to write a couple of things for you. Okay. I'd like you to have handy your recent gas and electric bill. Okay. So when
Yeah.
we're on Zoom, if you could have that already perhaps printed off or available to see.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up because it'll be online, but yeah, I'll find it for you.
All right. The reason being, Ros, we all know what we spend out for things like phone and mobiles and broadband. We pay that monthly. But the thing is, with the energy, I would rather give you an apples for apples comparison than just a guesstimate. And I'm sure you would too. Yeah?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So Friday morning then, we'll say 9:30. What I'll do, I've got your email address. I'll send you a link on an email that you can click on, and we'll meet on Zoom.
That'll be nice. Thank you.
Now, Ros, can I just ask you before you dash off? And by the way, I still haven't handed her appointment slip at this point. Before you dash off, Ros, can I just ask you, do you think there's anything that would get in the way of 9:30 on Friday?
No, there shouldn't be.
Okay, because I tell you why, I treat others the way I like to be treated. I'm going to set this time aside as good as if I was coming to see you, and I'm not going to let you down. And I'm going to ask you, would you treat me the same way? And this is a firm appointment. I'll tell you why. I'm going to make other appointments around it. So it's very much going to slot in with what I do.
Yeah.
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 So
I'll be there for you.
9:30, Friday the 21st. I'm writing it on there on the slip. And now, as I hand it to her, I smile. Now, this is where we're a little bit different to how it used to be. Do you know what? By now, normally on a stand, I'd almost be giving her a hug and she would me, because I know the rapport I'd have built up. But I've got to be respectful of the situation and the days we're in at the moment. So be careful not to naturally just put your hand out. Some might want to shake hands, but I think we've got to be a bit respectful. But it's all going to be about those facial expressions. And what you've noticed, even though she told me at appointment, did you notice the main question I asked? Is there anything that could get in the way? Now, this is what we call consolidating an appointment. And that's the bit you spend the time on.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, was that helpful? A very short and sweet, but did I give you a
Yeah.
good idea?
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the chat, whatever is on there. And you've heard it on the partner portal. Jen's very kindly sent it, but it's on your partner portal, the presenter. But I suggest you get together with someone. Don't delay it. Come on, let's get out. Let's go and hit the street corners. All right. And it costs us nothing. Guys, next week, I've had someone suggest we talk about business club. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go over business club. Lovely to see so many. Very nice to have you on here. And if anybody's got any further questions, feel free, WhatsApp me. All right.
Thank you, Lisa.
So much. Thanks,
Thanks a
Lisa.
lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Nice to see
Bye.
you all.